Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It is Connor. We're back here. We're back here with more merch. Check it out, everybody. We're back here with nerves, with enthusiasm, with news, with discussion points. And I want you guys to get involved. Interaction is peak on the channel right now. Really, really appreciate it. Check out all the content from yesterday. 3 videos out yesterday. Well worth it, everybody. If I got baby hair there, I think I have. Absolute baby hair. There we go. Okay, everybody, what are we going to be discussing today? Well, I wanted to discuss some obviously certain things regarding Leeds United and valuations on certain players, and I wanted to speak about interest in certain players and tactics and all this sort of stuff. You can get that yesterday, but you can get a little bit today as well. We are also going to be doing Generation Leeds, everybody, midday with my old man on the Patreon. Make sure you check that out. Shout out to Josh, who became a member yesterday. And let's get into it, shall we? So the first bit of news today is apparently Junior Firpo is gaining interest from an unnamed club abroad. Now, this is really interesting. And it's not about the unnamed club. It could just be a rumor. Could just be a rumor. This is why we do the rumor mill. But the interesting thing about Junior Firpo now is his development as a player. Now, are we turning around as a fan base and going, no, we can't sell him. We cannot sell him regardless of anything. This cannot happen. What an unbelievable turnaround this guy's had. And do you know what? I have literally been his biggest critic, but I've also been one of his biggest sort of advocates this year, especially in the second half of the season, obviously when he's been fully fit. It has been a magnificent season, a truly magnificent season, which has brought us all back to the point of the logical people, the people who are slightly, have a modicum of intelligence, have always known his technical ability. We've always spoken about it on the channel. Betis, Barcelona, there's evidently ability there. But he has this sort of mind-crazy, mind-numbing ability to put you in a false sense of security that he doesn't have ability because he gets himself caught too high up the pitch. His positional awareness isn't great. His tackles are mistimed. Now, this was all stuff labelled at him in the Premier League at the top division. This was all stuff labelled at him in the best league in the world. Now he's dropped down a division. Like a lot of Leeds United players, you've actually seen him develop as a football player, the continuity of one manager. You've seen him develop as well. But also the drop down has helped him massively. Now, does this mean he's a championship player? I don't know. We'll wait and see if Leeds do get to the Premier League. And if we do get there and Junior Firpo is still our left back, we will see how he does in another season at the Premier League. But what we do know is when he was in the Premier League last time with many other Leeds United players, he was nowhere near good enough. But is he good enough for the Premier League? Does he just need a bit more continuity, consistency, momentum when it comes to managerial selection, when it comes to player selection in and around him? These are all factors that can definitely aid a football player. And in all fairness, they can be attributed even the players who I don't rate whatsoever. Brendan Aronson, Rasmus Christensen. You've got to give a player continuity. And I think Junior Firpo has reaped the rewards of that this season. So I'm really happy for him that he has got clubs interested in him. I think we will see clubs interested in him from the continent. We did when we got relegated from the Premier League. I think we're going to see it again this summer. What would you guys do? Would you keep hold of him? I know it's very, very dependent, but on what league we're in. But as we've spoken about before with Eli Mele, with Pat Bamford, when stock is high on certain players and when we're all looking at them and going, oh, they're having a good season there, do you cash in? Or do you go with sentiment? Or do you go with logic? I would say with Pat Bamford, I think when his stock's reasonably high, you sell. Eli Mele, stock reasonably high, you sell. Junior Firpo is an interesting one because can he make that level up to the Premier League? There's no doubt that Leeds United need a left back in the summer, regardless, 100%. We've obviously seen the likes of Ryan Sessegnon go out on a free. We've seen Giannoulis leave Norwich on a free. These are players that Leeds United definitely could go for. And there's an argument that they technically are as good as Junior Firpo and positionally might be even better. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. What would you do with Junior Firpo? Now, moving on to the Southampton game a little bit, where we're all getting the jitters a little bit. I certainly am now. We're getting closer. We're edging closer. It's Wednesday. And it just seems like it's still so far away, but it's not, if that makes any sense. It just feels like Sunday is a long, long way away, but the preparations, everybody, myself, family members, friends are all making towards it. It is just edging ever closer and the nerves are building. It is just getting palpable right now. So it's going to be really interesting tactically how Leeds go about this game, because we were speaking about it last night, the debrief, which I would highly recommend everybody. It was a really good show last night. And we were speaking on the panel about how Leeds go into it, a 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1. But the biggest thing that we spoke about and the biggest thing we always know when Leeds have faced Southampton is the complete sort of taking away of Crysencio Summerville. You know, he was in such a rich vein of form the other night, and we know what level he can get to. You know, we've seen even post international break when the whole team has been poor. We've seen glimpses of absolute brilliance from Summerville in the game against Borough, Watford, and obviously against Norwich. Will Southampton leave space? I think they will. But even when they've left space, Leeds haven't been able to capitalise. They've been sloppy. We've been inaccurate with passes. We need to get this absolutely perfect so we get the best out of Summerville. So our build-up has to be so good that we get the best out of Crysencio Summerville. And one man is going to aid that in Georginio Rutter. They're going to overload the midfield. Leeds have to combat that. They have to combat that with some sort of system, some idea, some pragmatism throughout the game to get the best out of Crysencio Summerville, because he is the talisman in this game. He can make things happen. And every time we've played Southampton, we've had Kyle Walker-Peters, we've had a centre-back, whether or not it be Bednarek, whether or not it be Taylor Howard-Bellis, and then we've had a midfielder all around Crysencio Summerville, and they've completely negated anything. He's not been able to do anything, which has been fantastic tactical work from Southampton, because then they leave space for other players. But that's what Leeds have got to exploit. If they've got three men on him anytime they get the ball, can we exploit someone else in their back line? Can we exploit someone else in that midfield? Can we have runners from our midfield? Can we get Willie Gnonto on the ball? Can we provide those long switches that, space people like Willie Gnonto can run into, Dan James can run into? There's ways around this. Southampton have been beaten 11 times. Before they played us, they were beaten 3 times on the bounce. There's definitely room for manoeuvre there. Now, previously, I just mentioned Crysencio Summerville and the build-up with one man and one man only, Georginio Rutter, who literally the other night was phenomenal, and it was arguably his best performance of the season. Excuse me. But the wonderful thing about that was, post-hernia rot, we know that he can deliver those performances now. We know that he can get to that level. Physically, I was worried about him. I was thinking, well, can he actually do that again right now, or does he need that rest? Is that going to be a little bit of just a blip, that performance, because of how physically demanding what he did the other night was? But he looked okay at the end of the night. Everybody seems to think he's fit. He looks joyous in the interviews, obviously Southampton. But it's going to be fascinating to see his performance as well, because he can take away Flynn Downs for us. Flynn Downs is going to follow him, I think, all across the pitch. If he drags Flynn Downs deep, obviously helps Leeds build up deep. I rate Georginio Rutter's ability to be able to nullify Flynn Downs in that respect as well. You take him out of the game, and then we'll deal with Will Smallbone, and then we'll somehow deal with Joe Rebo as well. But all these things have got to be taken into consideration with a tactical and strategical plan. But the reason I wanted to speak about Georginio Rutter was because I wanted to touch on his price tag as well. Obviously, how important he's going to be for this game. But I think this player will stay at Leeds United. I think regardless of what happens with Summerville, Gnonto, there might be others, I think Georginio Rutter is going to be sold being the key man next season. I'm not sure he's been the key man this season. He's been a big contributor, but I think that key man has been Crysencio Summerville. I think next season we're going to bring bodies in, and we're going to go with the mantra of 1 in or 2 in. One out or 2 out, being maybe Summerville and Gnonto. But I think his price tag, I mean, allegedly, according to reports, we rejected a bid from Dortmund of up to £25 million last season when we got relegated. So other clubs know his potential. Other clubs know that he just needs probably a little bit of continuity, consistency, momentum, as we were speaking about at the start. But for me, there is no way that this guy leaves. I think Leeds' valuation on him is still going to be really high. I think the 49ers are going to know what a gem they've got, and what Rutter needs, even if we are in the Championship, is another year of development at a lower level. If we get to the Premier League, unbelievable, of course, and we need to get back there, because I think next season, I know people are saying that lower teams are coming down, as in, Burnley, Luton, Sheffield United, but I think Burnley are going to be really strong. I think Luton are going to be really strong. Sheffield United, questions there, but I still think it's going to be an extremely strong division. We're going to see other teams improve as well at this level. It's going to become harder for Leeds, especially with the likes of Chris Summerville going. But Georginio Rutter, I think next season will become the talisman for Leeds United, and we will build the team around him. That's my opinion, and I don't think Leeds will let him go for anything less than sort of 25, 30 million again. And will a club come in with that sort of money? That is massive, massive money. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. Really interested to hear what you think on Firpo, on Summerville, how we go about the tactical plan, getting him involved, not getting him outnumbered. And obviously, Georginio Rutter, is he going to be the man next season for Leeds United, or do you genuinely believe that he's going to move on? Excuse me. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. Head on over to the Patreon for some bonus content. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.